I'm here on the top floor of UK Games Expo 2015, and I'm here at the Modiphius stand with Chris Birch.
Hi.
What's your official title? I can never quite remember.
Anything I usually make it up, but publisher or creative director or whatever.
Creative director.
I started it, so...
Yeah. Well, you are Modiphius, effectively.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. Since last year's show you announced you're going to do Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
And you seem to announce something every month since then.
Yes, it's been a bit of a busy year, that's for sure.
What have been the highlights for you then?
Well, obviously getting Thunderbirds funded on Kickstarter was amazing. I think we funded in like the first 3 hours, which is a bit crazy, if not sooner. And then in the fact that we're actually going to hit our target and get it out in August is really amazing. We've got a great team, here with us today, and it's fantastic because we had a little stand opposite us last year and just had about 4 or 5 books, and this year we've got sort of 30, 40 books. We love squirrels. We have 4 squirrels in our office garden that come and visit us every day. Actually come and sit on my desk. It's a bit crazy. And so we've got a huge range of books, and Mutant Chronicles is on its way out, and Dust Adventures finally, and then we just announced Conan, of course, a few months back. So that's going to be like a real epic role-playing game. No furry ears or elven dainty fingers in sight. It's pure, barbarians in furry pants and big swords. So it's going to be really good. And we're doing more board games next year.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to hear more about Achtung Cthulhu board game. That sounds intriguing.
Yeah. Well, we've got 3.
Hang on.
I can't say too much about the third one, but we've got Shadows of Normandy, which is the Heroes of Normandy kind of tactical, top-down game. It's really, really fun. It's really pulp, and so that's coming out late summer from Devil Pig Games in France. Then we've got the Kevin Wilson Achtung Cthulhu Secret War board game, which I describe as a cross between Axis and Allies and Defenders of the Realm. It's kind of defense game, co-op, lots of little tanks and little Cthulhuid monsters, and you're going to be defending Europe. You're going to be trying to stop the Battle of the Bulge. You're going to be trying to stop Nat Wolff building their giant war machine. You don't know whether it's a plane or a tank. You're going to try and stop Black Sun expanding, generating vast amounts of creatures, and meanwhile going on missions to try and get artifacts and spells to buff your forces and help protect the line. But you're going to have like the 2nd Armoured Division and other big army units that you've got to decide whether you put them near the Ardennes, where they were originally, to stop the Battle of the Bulge, or whether you put them in Paris, because that will stop the Black Sun when they appear there. And so it's a real fun, fun, crazy action strategy game. And then we have another one in the works that's playtesting at the moment with another big name designer.
Any hints?
I can't say too much.
Is it an Achtung Cthulhu game then?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. It's another board game.
Yes, and we don't know which will come first, but we're probably going to announce it in about the next month. And then we've got another big family geek dad game for next year, kind of next spring, summer. So that's kind of growing, because we've got enough role-playing games. It's time to do some more board games now and support what we've got. So
how have you managed to get some of the really big designers? I mean, we've got Matt Leacock, Kevin Wilson. How have you managed to get them to basically come across the pond and work for Modiphius?
Well, I guess we've done a lot in the last 2 years. So I guess you show that you know what you're doing, and that you've got a good plan to make a great game, and all that. Well, obviously, what they want to work on projects they like. So when I pitched Matt Leacock, we knew we had to go to him as a co-op game. Thunderbirds was a no-brainer, I think, because it was like real family appeal, and he was at the top of the list. And he didn't know what Thunderbirds was. He'd kind of heard about it, but had never seen the show. And I saw him at Essen, and he went away to watch the show. He went away to watch the show with his family, and I knew that he'd love it because it's a family show. Kids love it, and he just got the whole. It's not about killing people; it's about saving people from being killed. So that was a great crossover. And Kevin, he loves Cthulhu games, and and he's done Descent, he's done Arkham Horror, and so I pitched him the idea of this kind of like defense come co-op come adventure game, and he just loved it. So started working, and he could see everything else that we were doing, and so you could see that we weren't just some dude going, oh, I've got a great idea for a game. And he was going to get paid, and we'd probably make some money. At the end of the day, they're not doing it for the fun of it. Well, they are doing it for the fun of it. We all are, but they'd like to get something from it. So they obviously want to see that you can probably finish the game and probably make some money on it, so that they get some money. So that helps. And then obviously that's all the projects we've got has helped us get things like Conan and Thunderbirds, and now the thing that we're doing next year.
So you briefly mentioned it there. So you basically have come up with like a framework for these games, and then pitched it to Matt and Kevin.
Well, actually, Thunderbirds, we kind of knew it was about being the Thunderbirds and rocking around the world. We didn't have an idea for the game, so he actually showed us the prototype, very, very, very rough prototype here last year in a hotel room. And it was awesome. It was in a little brown box. I think I've got a picture of it somewhere. And then we saw the actual working prototype at at Essen, and then had started working with him on playtesting. Kevin, I had quite a strong idea for the game, and I just gave it to him and said, off you go, you work the magic. And some games, we have maybe a license. Like we have a license at the moment for next year, and we had an idea for it, but we're giving it to this other big name designer to go off and do it, because you can't do their job for them. That's the point of getting them on board, is because they know what they're doing. And you need to just let them get on with it. And as much as you have some really, really great ideas, just do that with another game, So, and obviously we have ideas all day long, as everyone does. We all have our, sit there thinking, come up with a little rule system or something. But to get all these kind of games done, you can't do it yourself. You can't do everything, and that's why you have to trust people to go off and make great games with you. And that's why we've got this great team working with us as writers and artists and people, because we trust them to get on with it.
So we're on your stand, and it's significantly bigger than last year as well, actually, I should probably point out. Yeah. So what's the main highlights that you've got for us today?
Well, we've obviously had Mutant Year Zero, which is the big post-apocalyptic game that we've partnered with Free League and a big Swedish publisher. And this came before Mutant Chronicles. It was Target Games in Sweden, who are like this big publisher, published this back in the 80s. And it was like the kind of post-apocalypse in Sweden, and with mutant animals and all kinds of crazy stuff. And Free League basically took this old game from years back and redid it, and it's doing really, really well. It's you basically play survivors who are mutants in an ark, which could be an old skyscraper, it could be an old castle, or a floating boat that's half sunk. And there's a whole group of you, there's a whole community, and like every game session, 1d6 of the community die. And there's no children, because you're all mutants. There's only one actual true human who's like the guy that started the ark, and he's dying, and he's like has no clue anymore. And it's very much about building your community. So every session you start a project, like you might be going, well, let's build a wall around it, or let's get a water pump going, and then you've got to go off and find food, you've got to go off and explore the zones around you. And it's got a beautifully simple dice system. Everyone's got a mutant power, and when you roll the dice, the worse the dice are, the more power you get to power your mutant powers. But it's all a bit of a vicious circle. But it's really fun. It's brutal, and it's not like kind of sweet, nice Gamma World type post-apocalypse. It's kind of harsh, but it's not too complex as well. It's quite a simple rule system, and that's been doing really well. We just brought out Lair of the Saurians, which is a adventure and kind of supplement, which it's got these Saurian mutants with what looks like a submarine embedded in an island in the distance. We've got the new adventure, Hearts and Minds for Mindjammer here, and then more Achtung Cthulhu books. We've got the Terrors of the Secret War, which is the big bestiary where there's no stats for the monsters, but you've got like how to defeat giant Cthulhu creatures. You take an army company, you take a rifle company or a tank company, and the stats are really like, this is how many units get killed every round whilst you're hitting him with the golden spear of destiny or whatever. And it's the things that each of those creatures do to you whilst they're killing the enemy, the army units. And it's the things that you can do to banish it or close the portal and stuff like that. So it's a different approach to big bads, and it's got these kind of cool little mass combat rules, so you can play kind of battles with giant Cthulhu entities.
Yeah, so actually probably taking it into World War II kind of scenario.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we're obviously growing the whole Achtung Cthulhu scenario. We've got the skirmish game coming out this summer, which is a much bigger range of our Achtung Cthulhu miniatures. So all good.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Chris.
Yeah.
Good luck with the rest of the show.
Cheers. Thank you.